Hey there, it's Dr. Nicole Steele, the confidence coach, and I just want to take a moment today to share from my heart. I've had conversations with many people of all ages over the past week around COVID-19, and I know many people are struggling with everything that our nation and our world is facing during this time. You know, the emotions, they range everything from faith to fear and everything in between. And while those like me who have a foundation of faith are relying on prayer and studying the Word of God, others are tuned in to television 24/7 and they're listening to conflicting information as they watch the number of victims rise worldwide from this pandemic. I know it's a lot. It's a lot to process. Because when it comes to our generation, we've never seen nor experienced anything like this. For those of us here on earth, it's caught us by surprise and it's caught us ill-equipped in many instances, if we're honest. We've seen its effects and the impact on every area of our life and on the things that many have placed their hopes and their faith and their trust in. Whether it's money in the stock market, whether it's sports and entertainment, our health, or our social status, it's literally brought the world to a halt, and it's brought the people of the world to our knees. I know some people are really struggling and are wondering to themselves, why would God cause this terrible thing to take place? Now, I don't profess to know or understand all things, but I don't believe that the God that I know personally and the God that I served caused this. The reality is evil runs rampant on the earth and has since the beginning of time. And because our God is a gentleman, he gives people free will. And as a result, sin happens. The consequences of sin are real. When it comes to COVID-19, innocent people of all ages are being stricken and are literally fighting for their lives. And unfortunately, there'll be even more. Many of those people, those innocent people, have fallen victim to this deadly disease. And we need to be praying for the people in the hospitals, or those in self-isolation. We need to be standing in the gap for them because many of them are unable to pray for themselves at this time. Now, while I don't believe God caused this, I know it didn't catch him off guard. My God is all-knowing, and even in the most horrible of situations, he has the ability to move, to guide, and to direct people as he gets the glory. Many of us on this stay-at-home order have been able to pause and to pray. We've been able to study the Word. We've been able to spend time with our families, and we've had time to reflect. For some people, it's been tough to silence the minds and to focus the hearts, but it's allowed us all, hopefully, to put things into perspective. We've seen those on the front line serving selflessly. You know, our medical professionals, our first responders, our counselors, our truck drivers, our store clerks, all of those working tirelessly to literally hold up our nation. We've seen parents be the rock for their families as they calm the young minds and hearts of their children. We've seen humanity return as neighbor looks out for neighbor and as young people check on the old and the sick and the shut-in. We've seen God's people cry out for mercy as hardened hearts are turned back to God. For the past few years, my prayer partners and I have been praying for our nation and world. We've been grieved, as I know God has. And we've been reminded of what 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, which says, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will I forgive their sins and heal their land. I have no doubt that the God that I serve, he's more than able to heal our land and to bring us through this moment in time. I have no doubt that he can bring healing to the sick. He can bring comfort to the afflicted. He can bring hope to the hopeless and provision to those in need. There is nothing too hard for my God. But our job as his people is to pray, and to pray without ceasing, to study his word and to seek his face, and to be about his business, fulfilling the very thing he's called us to do in the earth. You know, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. If you woke up today with a pulse, you've got a purpose. That's right. If you woke up today with breath in your body, there is a purpose yet to be fulfilled in your life. But we can't stop there. He calls us to pray, but he also calls us to obey. So while we're praying and we're seeking his face and doing the things he's called us to do, he's also calling us to obey. He wants us to obey his instructions. He's given us instructions, y'all. You might be saying, well, what are you talking about? Well, let me tell you, God is always speaking. He speaks through his people. He speaks through his word. He speaks through his spirit that's within us. But he also speaks through the mouths of those he places in certain positions, including medical professionals and scientists and authorities who are pleading for us to stay at home during this time. Not only to save our lives, but to save the lives of others and to flatten this COVID-19 curve. It's hard, I know, to be confined and restricted. But please, 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 I beg of you, listen and obey. It grieves me to see people make decisions based on their own knowledge, leaving the wisdom of God and those he's placed in authority out of the picture. Come on, y'all. We can't pray and then decide to do our own thing. It doesn't work like that. It's time for us to pray and obey. So I've learned over the years that in every situation, you know what? God has his part and we have our part. Prayer is essential, but the word of God tells us that faith without works is dead. Again, he has his part and we have our part. So I beg of you at this time, please stay home. Listen to the instructions we've been given by the medical professionals, pleading for us to do what we have to do at this time and to keep ourselves alive. I told my kids, we can do what we got to do now so we can do what we want to do later. It's just that simple. Pray and obey. I'm Dr. Nicole Steele, the confidence coach, and I'm praying God's wisdom, his mercy, and his protection on us all during this time. God bless.